Hey, y'all, come on in. It's great to see you.
We have a cologne-inspired soap today from Barrister and Mann.
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
We are the Barbershop Duet.
Hey, y'all, come on in. Thank you for finding our little barbershop. If you happen to be here during one of the live premieres on YouTube, why? Come on in the live chat and meet the Whiff Pack, a cool group of folks hanging out from all over the world, and they would love to meet you too.
They would. And for our mention today, we have a fun new scent from Duet to show you.
And did I get a fine cologne homage? Oh, no. I went for the most gourmand of gourmands. This is a new scent of theirs, and this is called Banana Milkshake with Cookie Crumbles. And y'all, when I first put this on, I was shook. The last thing I was expecting. You know why? Because in the heart of it is a frozen feeling. I could smell the tartness of the frozen milk, and I put it on to go teach voice, and all morning the studio smelled like a walk-in freezer at an ice cream parlor. It was amazing. I didn't even get the cookies much. The banana, light and floral, beautiful. This is a cologne. What did you think of this?
I loved actually smelling it on you. The banana isn't the first thing you actually get a whiff of. I think it's the milkshake part, and then it goes into banana, and then a little sweet crumble, but not too sweet. There's nothing pokey in it. I think you had it on for more than like 10 hours. It was crazy.
I did have all these boys in my yard, but it had to charge. And what's our soap today?
Our soap today is Cologne Russe from Barrister and Mann.
Y'all, let's meet it. All right, y'all, I kind of thought this might be a Cure de Russie homage because we just shot that one for PAA, but it's not. It's very different from the sales page at barristerandmann.com.
Based on one of the oldest forms of perfume, Cologne Russe is a throwback to a scent created by the House of Guerlain for the Russian royal family and discontinued in the early 20th century. We blend lemon, bergamot, petitgrain, and herbs with violet, rose, bay, and amber to produce a rich, beautifully fresh scent derived from the colognes of old.
This scent is distinctly warmer than most other cologne-type fragrances, owing largely to its inclusion of castoreum, benzoin, and vanilla. Clean and elegant without the aloofness of some of those other scents, Cologne Russe is the perfect way to brighten your morning.
I'll take a brighten morning.
You got the purple stuff, Sunny D? No, we got Cologne Russe! And there's plenty of citrus in there. Well, why don't we take this one out of the box? Generally, from time to time, the artisans or vendors might have a small sale or two in this hobby, but at the holidays, they go kind of crazy. And the Wet Shaving Store had a 50% off sale for New Year's, and we imbibed. You did not see Monarch, you did not see Woodshop. That's for summer break. That's coming up. Little Brick Town in the box. But you did see this one in the classic Barrister and Mann label. Look at that color. I got a purple
Ooh,
one.
what kind of animal is that? A badger? A something?
I don't know, but it looks like it's been taxidermied already. Well, before I end up on the floor in front of somebody's fireplace, we better have a first impression! All right, y'all, so it seems like this captures an era of colognes. Warmer, more spicy. Oh, what are you doing? You're breaking the seal! I love soaps with a seal, y'all, so you know your schnoz is the first one to get on there. Zingari Man does it too, hogs. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Let's see what it looks like.
I'm ready to have a brightened up morning. Isn't that what it said?
No, it's cool. We are actually shooting in the morning
We
today.
are?
All right,
Okay.
here we go.
Oh,
Very
okay.
nice. Nice smooth pour.
Oh, I do feel like I've been taken back in time to like some really nice, fancy British, English, somebody. Oh, I think it said Russian. But I feel like there's a historical side to this. Like there's
Nice.
something. I know we read all the things and they made sense to us. Like it's sense we know. But here, it really does have like kind of that original, not want to say vintage, but
Right.
it seems like this is where the scent world could have started with their colognes.
Nice.
Kind of like 1147, that's much lighter.
right.
This one's much more of an herby kind of, got some depth and time was put into this one.
Right.
You get the Barrister and Mann mystique a little bit.
Oh, good.
But you almost don't even realize it's there because it fits so well.
Right. Now, constant viewers may be wondering because of the title, is this close to Cure de Russie from Chanel?
I would say no.
Gotcha. Where's it go from there?
Sorry, I just took a big whip. I think it's more like I'm almost getting like the dried herbs are put into here. And then something about, I know it listed a bunch of florals, but I can't pick out, at least off the puck, which florals I'm getting. But they're just keeping it like that. Almost like when you open the windows in the morning and you see the sun and you get a fresh breath of air and you just want to indulge in it. There's something with this that I can't turn off my whiff. So the herbs have a little bit of a green side to them.
Nice.
But there's something else in there. I don't know if it's a citrus thing or maybe that's where the florals take off because it doesn't go fougere. It doesn't go to the darker green like that. There's something to me that's not necessarily masculine or feminine. I'm just being taken to a place that's fresh and clean and I want to start my day. It has a nice timeless vibe, but I know it came from like OG days somehow.
Right. So does it have like a lane? Is it floral? Is it woods? Is it spice? What's the spine of it?
I think I'm going to stick with the herby side.
Okay.
There's definitely a light citrusy floral. It's familiar.
Right.
But in a way that you can't figure out how you know it.
Gotcha.
So there's nothing to me pokey in here. I think I want to settle more in the herbs with a little citrus floral kind of vibe happening.
Well, I love that. Pass that over.
See if you can translate what I'm trying to say.
All right, the shaken clam. Here we go, y'all. Oh, it's a lovely pour from well at Barrister and Mann. All right, here we go. All right, y'all. You know that beautiful leather edge that Fahrenheit has, where it's almost a diesel sense to it, a super clean but super real leather? 20% of that is the doorman. But here's the thing. It's like the only doorman. And when you get to Studio 54 and you're like, where's the rest of the party? He's like, come here. I'll show you. And as soon as you dive inside of that leather edge, it vanishes and everything else opens up inside. This is like Studio 54. Hold on. Oh, that's so funny. That is so cool. When you go back for the second whiff, you almost still can't see the doorman. Once you have taken in that leather, it almost vanishes. That's wild, because now all I'm getting are the woods and the spices and the florals. And you're right, it's something about the spices that are predominant. This reminds me of like a haberdashery. This is what I hope Taylor of Old Bond Street smells like when the king is getting a shave.
I almost wanted to be like in Diagon Alley, like with Harry Potter, like something in those cool dark colors with woods everywhere.
I have no idea why we're both going British, but we're going hard. It's not English leather, that's for sure. The opposite idea. The citrus is more prominent than you'd think in a leather scent, because I think there'd come a point where the citrus would start elbowing the leather out of the way. However, it's been turned up in such a beautiful way that the leather is like paying homage to it. That's wild. And it's not like a leathery citrus either, like a smoky peel. No. It's the heart of the citrus coming up against that leather.
But that's how you know it's morning. I think there's something in the citrus that's doing that.
Yes, and clean, not smoky and leathery and aged. Whoa, there's a magic trick being done here. Nice. And it's funny, I reached for Lavender Noir last night because my brain just said, I want something purple.
Purple!
And then the beautiful bergamot and citrus meet with something woody on the other side. And at the end of it, it all comes together in sort of a soapy sense that ties it together with a neat little bow that tells you no matter how dirty these scent notes might get, they come together to make a clean, put-together guy that's ready to be slapped on the face and sent out to face the day. Y'all! Oh, I love it when bright, clean mornings are done with super dark and spicy notes, like when you build Marilyn Monroe out of dice.
I can see why you were saying it's almost a leathery thing, but my brain was getting that more as the different spices that are in here.
Right. It might not even be leather. It might be something coming together to give me like a sense of a super dry, saddly kind of leather, right? Oh.
But I'm definitely in a room that has like dark wood around me and like really fancy wallpaper or texture. There's it's taking me to a place.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. The other night we went to a birthday party at her grandma's house and we brought a bunch of our fragrances. And as I took them out of the bag, I realized, oh, he wouldn't like this. Oh, she probably wouldn't like this. And we ended up only smelling 4 or 5 out of the 20 that we brought. Because, y'all, I grew up driving a van for a funeral home for 20 years with the windows up. I'm gonna like all of this. But I realized a lot of these scents, when you come down to it, match to the personalities of the person who's wearing it. And what I love about this is truly a cologne that you would hand to someone like John Wayne.
Yay.
Because if he smelled something too sweet or too sugary or too frou-frou, he's not going to want to put that on his neckerchief. This is that Clint Eastwood, John Wayne kind of sense.
It's funny because I still think I'm taken more to a place than a person, but I see why you're mentioning them. Like to me, it doesn't necessarily go masculine or feminine.
Right.
There is just something about starting your day off clean and that end of the whiff that you get here. I think they were talking about benzoin or there was different things that they listed at the end that I think are our send off to the scent that are newer to us, but they play that cleanliness part.
Right. And see, I had a dad who would only watch one of two things on Sundays: golf or westerns. I have seen the Sons of Katie Elder in and out of order so many times. So for me, this speaks to a guy. It speaks to one of the guys in those westerns, and maybe even all the way up to like Dirty Harry would smell like this for me if he was going to dinner and feeling lucky. And y'all, you are here for one of the 8 wonders of the world. You are about to see a Barrister and Mann lather being built in real time here on camera. Oh, there's some nice bite back to that stick. This soap has been nice and cured. I am going to make a plane with this soap on the bottom of this Barrister and Mann bowl, which Sarah got because it has a lovely brush holder. So what we do here is we smush the soap together with a little heat and a little friction with our finger until it basically makes a smooth surface. That way the brush is pulling up layers, not chunks. I'm going to give this a little baptism with the Smaldridge Memorial Bougie Sprayer. And much like most of the B&M line, it comes alive the moment water hits it. Are you smelling that from here?
Ooh, the lemon's brighter.
And this is one of our 2 Trotter brushes. This was a gift from the Smaldridge family. It's the patina colorway. Thanks, you guys. This really is a treasured member of our shave den.
All right, so we take the brush dry onto that soap there, and we start going one way, get it in those little bristles, and then go the other way.
We're trying to load the soap onto the brush before we bring up too much water.
And then, once it's not really grabbing anything else, take your brush and turn it 25%. We go again.
You wouldn't think a new orientation for the bristles would have such a profound effect on getting more soap from the bottom of the bowl, but it really does.
I'm gonna go for another spin.
A few moments later.
Now I'm taking the brush down into the water.
Oh, we have a casualty. Y'all,
Marcus was wrong.
a chonk. It happens to the best of us. They remind me of the cavity creepers from the Crest commercials. Remember those? Scared me to death. I brushed my teeth 3 times a day for a month after I saw that commercial. What?
After brewing this up, I would want to start my day with this, I gotta admit.
And you can tell that this is a classic vintage scent the same way you can when you hear Sinatra's My Way. If it's close to anything for me, it might be Astra Planeta from PAA, kind of a thing.
All right, y'all, here is our lather, and it is a very, very happy lather.
And this is something you will only find here in the Barbershop Duet. This is the Tom Hanks Castaway Kremlin whiff. On 3, 1, 2. Wow. Okay, you know what I love? This starts out as if it's going to be John Wayne on a horse, calling you pilgrim and probably making you feel a little bad about yourself. But that's not where it ends. This ends with like a George Clooney type of a scent to it. Does this start vintage and end modern for you if you keep with it?
Let me re-whiff now that I've got the lather.
Do the re-whiff. Like it's super bracing and leathery at the beginning, but by the end, it's got something along the lines of Green Irish Tweed. Am I out of my mind? I mean, I am. But what do you find at the very end?
I still get almost like a dry, soapy quality.
Yes.
And I don't know where that's coming from. I think it's some of the other stuff they were listing. Not that it's taking the herbs and the fruits away, but that's just the last end of the whiff sending you out the door.
And while we don't do shaving here in the Barbershop Duet, we do realize that when we watch Angelo on the Shave Arcade, we love to see how that lather coats his face, tells us how it was built and how it works. So watch this. We're just going to put a little of this
That face is a
on my moneymaker. Beautiful. A little bit of a cold breeze. There's no menthol in this. Beautiful, the perfect consistency to get right there, slick and safe under your stubble and not clog your Henson mild.
I think there's something with the florals in the middle that are waking up too that I forgot about. It dances. It's not a soap that you just smell and you're done. Like you want to take a long whiff. There's layers to this scent.
There is an aqua velva sense at the very end of my whiff, but you gotta go 7 or 8 counts to get it.
Yep.
If you can't do a 7-second inhale, call Klinger Vocal Studio. That's what it is. There's a little bit of that sage from the original Aqua Velva, not the current drugstore version. That's very different. But that beautiful icy blue bracing sage herby thing is under the leather of this for me. And where those come together are fireworks. Are you getting that, or am I crazy?
No, but that was the first word I kept saying. I was like, I'm going to stick with the herby lane. Like, I think that's where I'm going to stick with this type of scent.
Well, y'all, I could not be more excited to look at some scent notes. Is it too late to tell you that Russe means Russian so that you understand all these Russian references we're making today? All right, y'all, from the sales page at barristerandmann.com.
Lemon, bergamot, petitgrain, and herbs. So that's the first chunk, I'm guessing.
Y'all, and those go together. Now, I'm looking to find my leather in there, and I'm thinking it's the petitgrain.
I think
and the
so.
way it's mixing with something in the base, which we'll see in a minute. But I get that beautiful heart of the bergamot better than most bergamot notes. Are you sensing how that freaky lime is going with that leathery, herby sense?
It's funny, they're blended so well. Even when I try to dive in and smell for just one thing, it's actually kind of hard to pull out because to me, it jumps right into the petitgrain, right into the herbs. Like,
Right.
I can get it, but that's my key into the rest.
I've noticed that in some of these scents, my nose needs like a pillow to land on. It needs one scent that I can find at the end of the whiff that's my landing pad. And for me, it's that lemon and bergamot in here. It's fabulous. And then, going on, we've got violet, rose, bay, and amber to produce a rich, beautiful, fresh scent derived from the colognes of old. So y'all, before there were even colognes, there was bay and there was bay rum. But then they connected it with something a bit unexpected. The florals from like 1127, rose, violet, and an amber note, which could be lots of things. But I think here is adding a bit of a powdery sweetness that is the only sweetness in this scent. By the way, how sweet do you get this?
Oh, you know, I think it's just the fruit and the florals that kind of bounce back and forth, but nothing like gourmandy zone.
Right. The scent is distinctly warmer than most other cologne-type fragrances, owing largely to its inclusion of castoreum, benzoin, and vanilla. So vanilla, y'all know what that is.
Yep.
Benzoin, beautiful resinous herb, vanilla-ish. And then castoreum. Okay, well, let's have a grown-up conversation. We looked this up, and it turns out that the beaver that build dams and things, they have these sacks. They're not purchased sacks. They come with the beaver, and they fill with stuff. And then they put it in here.
So far we have civet, ambergris, and now castoreum.
There's a lot of poop in these, and it's awesome. Well, Will started his whole journey with an inspiration from a cologne called Zing, which recreated the scent of the circus and reminded him of going there with his dad. And it has a prominent fecal note in it. And that's what sparked his fascination about this entire world, was how they got that note to smell so beautiful. And we have a tiny sample that Will sent us, and we can verify that poop smells amazing.
I think it's one of those scents. If it wasn't in there, we would miss it, you know?
I think that's also that leathery edge
maybe.
that I was getting, because leather's from an animal, but it's from the outside
Not
of
the
the animal.
inside.
Colostrum is from the inside. Vanilla with castoreum. Brilliant. Oh, and the Cliff Notes version of the notes from the side of the tub, which every once in a while are different, are, I can't read them, my glasses.
Lemon, petitgrain, herbs, violet, leather, vanilla, rose, and amber. Marcus was right!
Marcus is vindicated! I'm happy tire! There's leather in here. Good night. You'll smell better just watching this. I win.
No wonder he liked this scent. He was right.
Well, here's the thing. This also doesn't actually mean that there's leather.
Nah.
It might mean that some of these notes are coming together to build leather.
But it worked. You got it.
I still claim victory.
If there was a multiple choice, I don't know if I would have picked that one first. So good on
It's
you.
funny because that hit me like Indiana Jones's whip. As soon as I took this off, was like, leather crack. And then here's the door opening. Now you can sense the rest of it.
But I think that's why it was taking me into someone's fine study or something that had that vibe, that there would be leather in it. I just didn't realize that that's how I was getting it.
For me, it was like the culture shock of being sat down in the middle of Red Square, being like, whoa! And then all of a sudden, then you spot like a burger stand over there. Then
It's interesting. I'm in that fine study, but the windows are open and it's a nice sunny morning somehow.
This absolutely smells like the room where they would have written Game of Thrones. You know what I mean, y'all? And why don't we do some digging and see if we can find some of these beavers? So this might be a little bit rare, but I might say this does not have much room for a feminine edge to it. I'd say this is pretty darn masculine, about 90%. Where are you putting this bad
That's
boy?
funny, because I kept thinking of a place. But maybe that's why my brain couldn't put it in that category.
Right,
Like, it wasn't
right.
even putting that up as an option.
Yeah, completely different from anything else in Will's catalog, which is really saying something because that thing has got some width and breadth to it.
It does have his thumbprint, though.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
I can tell it's still, of course. But I get what you're saying. Like, if we had to compare it to ones that we currently have, I wouldn't put this up to next to any of the others.
Although, that Barrister and Mann mystique that's in Maryland and Hollows and Spice is way turned down so that these dancers can do what they need to do. I mean, it's there, but maybe only 20% where I find it in Spice.
Interesting. No, it did. At first, it was recognizable, because I think when we first try and take a whiff, we go for something we can recognize.
Oh.
You know?
And y'all, if it's not Valentine's Day, but you've got a hankering for Maryland from Barrister and Mann, one of my all-time favorites, I don't think this is that far. I think this is probably as close as you're going to get outside of Maryland season. What do you think?
I can see why you're getting there, but it's funny. As soon as I tried to smell for Maryland, then it showed me everything that was different. I think that's some kind of a badger. I know they just mentioned beavers, but those teeth don't match.
Is Castoreum from beavers or badgers or both? Oh my.
Now I feel like we need like a Cliff Notes for the label.
Well, the head's not like connected to anything.
It's up for our interpretation, maybe?
I guess so, but he's got giant teeth.
Yeah, they're terrifying.
Oh, this will be an interesting conversation. Where are you putting this one on our crowd-pleasing scale? And isn't that funny? If it was on John Wayne, I think this would be incredibly crowd-pleasing.
Yes.
But if this was on Mr. Rogers, I think you'd be like, dude, you been hanging out with badgers?
It's interesting. There's parts of it, if I want to smell for the brighter citrusy florals and the clean soapy side, I would say it's completely crowd-pleasing. But then, if you are brave enough to keep diving, then I'm like, oh, there's some complexity here that I wasn't expecting.
That's it. Well, and isn't that funny? Because when you first get into the hobby, you love your Fruit Loops, you love the beach, and then you go from crowd pleasers to room clearers. So the cool thing is, if you're not really experienced with colognes, you would probably just sense the crowd-pleasing part of this. But if you were the more adventurous type, like we are slowly becoming, looking for the ouds, looking for the tobaccos, looking for the Russian leather edges, they are there to be found in this.
Yes.
And leave it to Will to put that beautiful spine of lime down the middle. I might say if I had to pick what forward is this, lime. What do you get?
Oh, I go back and forth. That's hard to pick. I don't want to pick one. I think I'm getting the citrus brings me in to then the dried herbs.
Yeah.
Then I go floral. Then it jumps into all of the interesting things that then lead you to the soapy finish.
Right. So it's pretty easy. I'll just be Marcus with the original Game Boy that he got the week it came out for his 10th birthday. And after a few months of work, you're going to get pretty good at Tetris. And you're going to be playing level 9, high 5 for the 900th time. And you are going to beat the game. And you're going to see a little band come out and play you music to celebrate. And then at the very end, the space shuttle takes off, and you're gonna run and show your mom, and she's gonna say, why do you always play that in the bathroom, and would you please pull your pants up? And you're gonna get your own. So head over to barristerandmann.com to find this and a bunch of other cool stuff. Well, I've had my shave, y'all, with Cologne Russe, and what I love best is it has a tiny hint of that leather that also opens the door from Maryland, but it opens the door to a much friendlier, brighter, slightly fruitier, slightly more floral environment that is just as masculine and dark and nostalgic and dapper and vintage as you'd want it to be. What a beautiful shave. And the base... Y'all, Barrister and Mann is just for the day I don't want to deal with it. When I need a self-working lather that's going to be one of the absolute best in the business, I turn to this. Thank you, Will, and thank you for creating this. The brupa selling you saspinia.
So for our April giveaway, we wanted to give you a chance to get $25 to First Line Shave.
Yeah, yo, all you have to do to be eligible is send us an email here to we sent you at thebarbershopduet.com so that we can get back to you. It's the only way we communicate about our giveaways, and then check back here on our first May episode to see if you are our lucky winner.
Best of luck.
You know, just a little bit this way, it would have been too squinchy for me.
Yep.
Just a little bit this way, it might have been too sweet, might have been too out of balance for me. But something about seeing all of these set notes just so beautifully balanced on the head of this pin.
I get
What a beautiful set this is.
I am glad we started our day with this one. There is just a fresh, clean smile on your face, the sun shines out kind of thing that happens without expecting it would.
But it's real. A lot of times the scents that I'll put on for like a clean, sunny morning are very much sweet citrus. This goes the other way and does the job just as well, and I love it.
I am glad we snuck this one on the schedule.
Me too.
Don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
You'll smell better just watching this.